Super. Hi, I'm Kiki, and I'm really delighted to be here today when Mick reached out to me via the information he found on the internet. I could come and speak to you probably for the entire rest of the semester in terms of what my experiences are and whatnot. I'd like you, if you're so willing, to try to embrace this experience by having the opportunity to use a pair of vision simulators during our class today. In order to do that, you have two options. For those of you who are brave enough, you could come to me and I will hand you a set of vision simulators that you can head back to your seats to wear during the remainder of the class. And otherwise, I can ask Mick or someone else to hand them out to you. This is not hazing. I want to put that on the public record. It's an opportunity for you not just to hear about my experience, but to have a little mini experience of your own. So come on down if you're interested, and I'll get you situated. I'll be right by this briefcase with a whole bunch of stuff.
All right, looks like pretty much almost everybody's.
Well, wonderful. When you come to me, tell me you're here. You can tell me your name.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm here. I'm Mercury.
Nice to meet you, Mercury. You now have retinitis pigmentosa for today.
Hi, Tiana.
Tiana, you now have macular degeneration. Who else do I have?
I'm Olivia.
Olivia, you now just have plain old low vision, 2200 and 2500.
Thank you.
And next,
Hi, I'm Andy.
what was that, Abby?
Andy.
Andy, nice to meet you. You also have low vision, but you'll see a big difference in your two. Okay,
Hi, I'm Matt.
Matt, you've got, just even try to find your way back. I think what you've got today, Matt, is Mac to Jen there.
Renee.
Renee, here you go. Same. We'll mix it up a little more. Anybody brave enough to be completely occluded, you let me know from this point on. Otherwise, you're going to get some.
Hi, Mama.
There you go.
Hi, Andy.
Nice to meet you.
Emma.
Okay. Nobody wants to be totally blind yet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Isaiah.
And there you go.
Thank you.
And,
I'd rather sit down first, but
okay.
otherwise,
You want to try the full bowl?
why not?
Okay.
Yeah,
There you
let's
go.
just sit down first.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We're not going to get hurt today. Do we have more people here?
No.
That's everybody. Awesome. And Mick, would you like a set?
No, because I got to work the camera here.
Okay.
And I think
That's-
it might be hard to.
Turn off my alarm. So you're going to watch me today using my technology to try to do this for you. Each of you now has the opportunity to try to watch me, listen to me, process everything I'm saying, and take whatever kind of notes you might feel the need to take. I, in a nutshell, was born with regular vision about half a century ago, and at 8 was diagnosed with a degenerative autoimmune disease that affected my vision. I became legally blind, which the person who has the 200 and 500 lenses, that's about where I was at 8. By the time I was 12, the person who has the 2070, 2800, I was there. And as time moved on, I started losing more of my vision from the periphery out. So those of you who have retinitis pigmentosa, that's the funnels or the pinpoints, my light got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And 11 years ago, I lost the very last of my light detection. So the one brave soul who has the full occluders gets to experience that. I am so fortunate to be living in this day and age when so much is available via technology. As I had time to prepare for vision loss, I did everything that I thought I could be doing to prepare for that possibility. There was no date at which I was going to lose my vision, nor did I know if it would ever actually happen. It did. I learned Braille. I read Braille like a preschooler. let's see, where did I put my bag? I'm going to hope that none of you are actually Braille readers, because I'm about to give you my bank statement. This is a Braille bank statement, and I'm going to hand this to the first person who comes towards me from wherever you are. I'll tell you what, you need a sense of humor in this blind business. So that's my bank statement. You guys hopefully get bank statements. You probably don't even do paper statements. I hope you actually look at your bank statements. It's important as college students to learn how to manage your money. But now, in the advent of the electronic age, I have the option of doing my banking online. And so that's a wonderful gift. Whether it's from my phone or from my laptop, I can use the different accessibility software programs, theoretically, to manage my finances. This is a big deal. I have, as you were seeing, this is a basic laptop. I use a very commonly purchased accessibility software program called JAWS. It stands for Job Access with Speech. It's a standalone that works with laptops, non-iOS devices. And it's the most common one. Inevitably, whenever something new happens in Microsoft, it takes months, if not years, for any of these supportive software programs, whether they're enlargement for low vision or this is called speech synthesis, to catch up and work through bugs. And by the time they do that, you know the new version's out, and we have to do it all over again. The same is true with the smartphone. Boy, I never thought in a million years that I would be able to use a cell phone. I remember when I have two boys who are now in college, one's a freshman, one's a senior. Remember thinking, how am I going to do that thing all these other moms do, like texting their kids? And then the smartphones came out. So I, with my Apple device, am able to use something that you all have. I'm going to encourage you now, again, if you have a smartphone, to take it out. Oh, you never hear that in class, do you? And go into your settings, into your general settings. I'm going to turn down my speed here.
Settings. Containers. Speaking rate. 70. 65%. 60%. 55%.
Hopefully you can hear the speech better now at 55%. But when we open up our settings, if you're totally occluded, sir, you're thinking, how am I going to do this? Do I peek? You can peek. Or you can hold your home button and say, open settings. So,
Settings. Search.
Here we
Search
are.
Field. Dictate. Kirsten Smith. Apple Arcade. Airplane. Wi-Fi.
I am
Phone
now
connection. Button.
swiping around until I hear where I want to be.
Bluetooth. Cellular. Personal hub. Sounds and focus. Screen. General. Control set. General.
General. There we go. In general.
Software up. AirDrop. Airplane. Picture and CarPlay. Home button. iPhone. Background. Data. Keyboard. Font. Language. Dictionary. VP. Legal. Shutdown.
Oh, wait a second.
Button. Background app refresh. Button. Background
Hang on.
app. General. Back button. General.
Maybe.
Legal and regulatory. Transfer or reset iPhone. Settings. Back button. Settings. Focus. Button. Screen time. General. Control. Display. Home screen. Accessibility.
There, I'm sorry.
Accessibility.
It was
Button.
accessibility was in that same menu as general.
Accessibility features help you customize your iPhone for your individual needs.
So there we are. And in here, there's something called VoiceOver. That's what you're listening on my phone. You have it as well. And I will encourage you from this day forward to spend 5 minutes a day with your VoiceOver on. As future designers of computer technology, for you to have the experience of the struggles, not just me standing up here telling you about them, will be your best guide in creating design that is less problematic than others.
Heading.
Because sometimes when it looks good, it sounds good, but to actually use it is something entirely different.
VoiceOver.
In Vision,
Button.
you've got VoiceOver. You can turn that on, and your phone will start talking to you as mine does. The difference in that is that then everything
Contact.
that you do with a touch, I have to double tap to do. And so learning the muscle memory involved in that is pretty significant. Learning how to interact with Siri without vision is pretty significant. But there are so many apps and software programs that are very, very helpful for me as a person who's blind. The other thing that you guys could do is download the Be My Eyes app. That's BEMYEYES. It's FaceTime. It's glorified FaceTime. You can sign up as volunteers to take calls at your convenience from somebody somewhere in the world who is struggling with a visual problem. That could be, what does my computer screen say? It's not talking to me like it's supposed to be. To, is this a can of black beans or kidney beans? To, what color is the outfit I'm wearing today? So this is one of these free apps that is absolutely fantastic for me. Open Be My Eyes.
Be My Eyes. Call a volunteer.
I can call a volunteer.
Call.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. I was wondering if you could describe the scene in front of me right now. Are there people sitting in chairs? Okay. If I go this way, are there more people? Okay. How about here?
Yes, there's people.
Awesome. Thank you. Are they like in stadium seating or just flat on the ground like a regular classroom?
Yeah, they're on the ground, like long table.
Oh, okay. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. Have a great day. So now, here, I had you guys sitting in that stacked stadium seating at the little desk where you had to pull up the thing and pull it over, but you're actually at long tables here?
Yeah.
That was Be My Eyes. I just learned something. I've got nothing coming into any situation, so I have to use all of my senses. Like you're probably struggling with your little pinholes or your little funnels or your little side things. Those of you who have the macular degeneration, where this is the stuff your grandparents have, where you're only seeing out of the periphery of your eyes and you're moving your head around all over the place trying to get that little sweet spot. These are the little programs that you can design. That's about as basic and as simple as it gets. And it's free, which is terrific. There's another one called AIRA, A-I-R-A, Artificial Intelligence Remote Access. That costs about $2 a minute to use. Those people are vetted and trained at how to be audio guides. They also have the ability to interact with maps. So if I'm at Wegmans, for example, and I'm trying to find the kumquats, and I don't know what a kumquat looks like actually, they can access the Wegmans app or map and help direct me through the store to find the kumquats. Now, if they don't know what a kumquat is, then we have to go find an employee in the produce section. But there are some really great resources available. Here's the situation. I have to use my phone in my hands. If I'm walking along, it's pretty hard to walk, figure out where I'm going, listen to my phone, and hold my camera in front of me. So if one of you wants to design a cheap, lightweight set of glasses that act with that camera, please feel free. I mentioned about my banking. I grew up in New Hampshire. Anybody here from New Hampshire? No? Okay. Well, I grew up in New Hampshire, so I still have a bank in New Hampshire. And I don't access it often, but recently I was trying to. I'm talking about in November. I am continuing now because of my struggles with their accessible technology to help them solve the problem of me logging in. So isn't it great that I can do my banking online? Except, for example, if you can hear this, I may have to turn my volume up a little here. Hold on.
Windows D notification check on button to act. Systems written upgrade to 14 HR. Written dash no speakers colon 34% button enter. Speakers left parent 30, 30, 30, 30, 40, 40, 42, 43, 40, 40, 46, 46, 48%, 50%, 50%, 51%, 52%, 53%, 54%, 56%, 56%, 57%.
Okay, so that's a little better. I can't use a mouse. You might have noticed that. Everything you do with a mouse or a touchpad or a screen, I have to have memorized keystrokes and keystroke combinations. So here I want to go to the bank. I preloaded this. Yeah, okay. So we're going to go. To my desktop. Go to Google. I'm going to type in. First Seacoast Bank, Dover, New Hampshire, login. Oh, it's not letting me get onto Wi-Fi. I thought I was on your Wi-Fi.
You want me to help?
Please.
Okay, I'll tell you what's easier because they're actually changing the Wi-Fi system here.
Mm-hmm.
And I can actually put you on my cell phone hotspot.
Perfect.
Let me just turn that on.
Okay, thank you.
And it will, if you try that as your, here, let's move this chair over here so you can sit while you're doing this.
Okay.
So you should now have a Wi-Fi network available. It has the name of my phone on it.
Okay.
Let's see, yeah, iPhone 12 Pro Max. Now wait a second, connect automatically. Yeah, try connect. Yeah. Okay, now it wants you to enter the network security key, which is an incredibly long number, so let me enter it.
Okay.
Sometimes this, if it's an Apple device, a lot of times it will offer to let me.
This one is not an Apple device. This is your standard Lenovo.
Now this is interesting. JAWS isn't telling me.
Correct. So how observant is he? You typing in a password? I'm listening, and all it's saying is star, star, star. And so I'm hoping, I have a really hard time between the 6 and the 7. Sometimes I hit 7 for 6 and 6 for 7. It's hard. You have to know your keyboard pretty well. That was the one thing my parents made me do when I had a lot of vision in high school. I'm so incredibly grateful for it. I fought it tooth and nail because I just wanted to be quote unquote normal.
Okay, so it should be connected to the network now. Let's see what happens.
Awesome. Okay.
Windows N, desktop, folder view, K. Windows N, K. Enter. New tab, dash Google Chrome, dash person, left parent, person, personal, right parent, toolbar, address and search bar, edit, A, type of text, control plus L. F, left parent, S, B, space, D, O, V, E, R, space, N, H, space, L, O, G, space, I, N, enter. Settings button to activate.
Yeah, it's working.
Yay! Okay, so, take 2. Patience. I'm Italian, it doesn't come easy. And sense of humor, which does, are the only things that get me through a lot of days.
Search mode setting level 1. Search results setting first Seacoast Bank colon home page visit setting level 3.
There's my first Seacoast Bank.
Enter. Link.
So they have been working with me since November, their IT department, to help me get access to my bank account. As recently as yesterday, they asked me if what they had done now allows me to work. So this is something that, if you could have seen it, you would see at the top of this page, in this screen, a login button. No matter what I do, if I arrow line by line by line, I cannot get it to tell me log in. It is there. I've been assured. Do you want to vouch for that? Are you still there, Matt?
I'm over here.
No? Okay. I've been assured that that button is there, but because the individuals who are working the back room, the numbers, the coding, all the stuff I don't know the first thing about, I was an English major at Cornell, they still can't get this thing working. We've been working on it since November. So this is where using the title of what I'm supposed to be talking to you today is called People Matter. And this is where, this is one of the most responsive organizations I've had to interact with. They're trying. I found a human being. That human being is regularly interacting with me, trying to solve this problem. Versus somewhere like Apple or Facebook. Any of you have, you probably all do Instagram or Snapchat, but if any of you have Facebook and have had your account hacked, you might know how difficult it is to resurrect that. Clap if anybody's had that experience. Okay, someone. That's how, instead of raising your hand, I do things. So mine was really well hacked, and I've never been able to recover it. But that might be recoverable if I could find a human being to talk me through it, the recovery process. So, you know, that's why having you guys do a thorough design, vet it with a person who has the same disability that you're trying to support, and then have employees who are trained and knowledgeable at how to do it, not just theoretically, but the people who spent 5 minutes a day with VoiceOver on their iPhones, those are the people who are going to be more likely to be able to solve my problems because they've been there before. They've scratched their heads and says, wait a second, where did I go? Well, why doesn't it say this? Why doesn't it say that? That and a person on a telephone line, you know, to have a human being. There is an disability hotline for Apple. In fact,
Heading level 2 main navigation.
I'm jumping all over my notes here.
Grid-guest wireless Google Chrome. Read seat in the speaker for KW Smith info. Inbox cursor dot read FSD webs. Grid-guest wireless Jaws home Andy left parent 7 right parent Facebook that people matter docs.
People matter.
People matter docs word.
Okay.
Zoom story misspelled Malum.
Oh.
Docs. Colors color identifier. Blank. Braille labeler /QR blank. Dial and access
Okay.
/pin/men.
You guys know how you can dial 800 number and it takes you to a menu and you have to dial in some more numbers like, I don't know, your account number or press 5 for this or press 9 for that. That's pretty hard when you can't see the number pad on your phone with your VoiceOver on. You can get there and swipe around, but to get, let's say 1982 is your password for something. To get to the 1, and then to get to the 9, and then to get to the 8, and then get back to the 2, and then hit the pound sign, it's done. My opportunity, time-wise, to have entered that is gone. So that, what should be and seemed to be an accessible design failed because it didn't offer enough time for the user to use the features that it's requesting. I'm not hoping that makes sense to you.
Misspelled Apple disability left
For
parent,
example,
77 right parent, 200
if
for
somebody wanted now to call the Apple Disability Line
blank.
to get through to a human being, and this is a line that's dedicated for people with disabilities. It tells you, if you don't have one, hang up and call the regular. But to get to that point and then to get to a human being is typically a half hour to an hour. Recently, there was an iPhone update that completely wiped out my phone. I had it plugged in, it was an automatic update, and suddenly my phone didn't behave with VoiceOver the way it should have. I ended up having to buy a whole new phone when I went to the Victor store. I chose to get a, where did I put it? Another
11:31 a.m.
SE because it has the home button. That home button allows me to do the fingerprint ID, which is great because I can't remember all my passwords. There are often problems, but that fingerprint ID is pretty good. Now you guys have the Face ID, right? Yes. good audible response. The Face ID doesn't work for me
11:31
because you have to look a certain way, get your eyes in a certain place, have it at the right angle. I can't see where I am in that frame to do my Face ID. So they sold me a whole new phone. And I spent hours and hours and hundreds of dollars trying to fix my problem. The store closed. I went home. It still wasn't working. I called the Apple Disability line. I went through 4 different people until I managed, by some miracle, to get this guy out in Texas who's a disability genius, who is perfectly sighted, has no friends or family with vision loss, but who's self-trained by using VoiceOver. Every day he spent time with his eyes closed, learning how to use this phone
11:32 a.m.
with his eyes closed and using the resources. And all I had to do
11:30 words.
to
Characters.
fix my problem in the end,
Headings. Containers. Speaking rate. Words. Characters. Headings. Containers. Speaking rate.
well, now it's
50
not there, but
60%.
there's a typing mode on the rotor,
11:33
and he
a.m.
knew that all I had to do was change the typing mode, and it fixed all of my problems. Hundreds of dollars later, hours of time on the phone and in store, and that's all it was. The glitch in that upgrade, that automatic upgrade that's supposed to make everybody's phones work better, didn't make mine work better. But to find the solution to that was nearly impossible. So much to the point, guys, where literally I locked myself out of the phone because the fingerprint ID, you had to, after you power down and power back on, the first time you have to re-enter it by touch, the numbers or whatever. Because that typing mode was off, I couldn't get it to do it. So first I was out for 15 minutes, then for 30, then for a day, and I didn't know anybody's phone number. I didn't know what meetings I had for work,
11:33
because it's all right here. This is why people matter. This is why access to humans to support the designs that you create is still important. You can't do it perfectly, even if you spend the rest of your life on VoiceOver trying to understand my experience. However, I've had several wonderful experiences. Well, I mean, I'm still qualifying this bank in New Hampshire as a wonderful experience because more often than not, I don't get a person. Even if I do get a person, it just never happens. And so these are people at this bank who are trying very, very hard to solve my problem. It's been over 6 months. Well, maybe about 6 months. It's not solved yet. But you guys coming into your jobs, into your careers with this idea that using people who are going to benefit from your product as part of the planning process is a really good idea. And then training those people who support it to know it as the population that you're trying to support, not just theoretically, is another really good idea. And finally, having a human to receive those calls, those questions, is an even more wonderful idea. The vast majority of people who have vision loss in the U.S. are over 65 years old. I'm getting there. There are going to be more and more and more people living with vision loss, especially since we're all living longer lives. A lot of people don't have total loss of vision. I can only speak to that experience, but it is important to recognize that vision loss is a spectrum from the 20/70 to no vision whatsoever. And the needs across that are different. There are some underlying similarities, but a lot of us as we age aren't going to, in more and more time, generations will be more familiar and comfortable with technology. But again, if you're losing your vision at 70 years old and you want to keep in touch with your grandchildren on Facebook or Snapchat or whatever, it's hard to learn when you're that old, and most of your brain space has been taken up. I have so many commands that I have to remember every day. And often I forget them. It's a lot of space to use in your brain. And so you try to do intuitive things like Control P is for print. But when you take all of the commands that I've learned in operating Windows and Office, and you transfer all that to Google Docs, less than half of those commands work because it uses a different kind of cursor system. So I feel like I'm complaining a lot. And I want to go back through my notes because I really feel strongly that I'm not a complainer, number one. And number two, I've had tremendous positive experiences. Did that. Oh, rideshare is a great thing. Keep working on that. In fact, if you get out there, do me an even bigger favor and perfect those self-driving cars. That's going to be a game changer. Blind people with vision loss are the least employable population in the country. There are many reasons, and it's very complicated as to why. Transportation is one of those challenges. Fear of people, of sighted people interacting with us, like they're afraid of doing or saying the wrong thing, is another one. But technology, as it improves, is going to make the world more and more accessible to people wanting to work. Or, let's hope everybody does. I used to teach high school English here in town at an all-girls private school. Then I raised my kids, and just recently I went back to work at a nonprofit. Has nothing to do with blindness. I'm out in the community doing outreach and sponsorships or fundraising. And I could only do that with a supportive employer who's not afraid to ask me what I need, how the employer can help, and giving me space and time. It does take me longer to do things.
Apple-genius is not so genius. Something misspelled. If a dash face recognition at the home button. Facebook
that.
/somebody's attacking.
Oh, yeah. The Facebook. That's social media. I can't do Instagram. It's all pictures. If you can figure out a way for me to be able to use Instagram better and identify photos, that would be fantastic. But even with Facebook, once upon a time, my friend posted something about, look at the size of this rock. And I knew that she and her boyfriend had been together for a long time, so I thought they got engaged. I said, congratulations. They were actually building a deck, and when they dug to put in the deck, they found a really big rock. So, the graphics continue to be a challenge.
Google Docs. Colors, bold, color identifier.
Colors.
11:40 a.m.
And QR codes. Well, that was another one of my big things. There's an app called Seeing AI that, again, I would love for you to download and play with.
11.
Open Seeing AI.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone
Oh,
first.
of course I do.
11:40 a.m.
Open Seeing AI. Okay. I'm assuming it's open, but it didn't tell me that. So
Recognizing English.
I'll swipe around. It says recognizing English,
Channel. Short text.
and I have a variety of channels
Down with
here.
one finger to adjust the value.
A short text means I can hold this up to a piece of paper or even a computer screen. And
View count. 159. Mailings. O. Editor. Editor. X. Review view help. On. 10. Review view help. Editor. Editor. Kirsten Smith. 472.3. S. 159 hours. 7 a.m. 5 p.m. PST.
That's telling me what time it is and some of the things on my taskbar, I think. You can also use it in document
Channel.
mode,
Adjustable.
so you can take a picture.
Channel. Adjustable. Product.
There's product that will look at QR codes and barcodes to try to help identify things.
Person. Currency.
Person is always a fun one. That's a party game. You can take a picture of a person
Person.
and, let's see.
Switch to front camera. Button. Channel. Person. Adjustable. Swipe. 1 0 faces. 0 faces.
I almost had somebody there.
You're trying to get somebody in the frame?
Yeah, keep talking.
I'm right here. So here I am, and I should be in the frame right now.
You should.
Switch to front camera. Channel.
Maybe the
Person.
mouse.
Adjustable. Channel. 1 face near center.
There we
4
go.
feet away. 1. Switch to front. Channel. Person. Channel. Switch to face recognition. Take picture. Button. Quick help.
Oops.
Face recognition. Take picture. Button. Take picture. Processing. 65-year-old man with blonde hair wearing glasses looking neutral.
Accurate? This is a great party game, I'm telling you. The girls always come out younger and the guys always come out. And it's that AI stuff. It's the eyes. My eyes have kind of sunken into my face. And the difference in my age between having sunglasses on and not having I've been as old as 84. I'm not anywhere near that. But it's kind of fascinating, between the eyes and the nose.
Button. 0. Take picture.
And so
Face
again,
recognition.
this
Switch
will
to
do
front camera.
things like
Channel. Person. Adjustable.
color, currency.
Scene. Preview. Color. Gray.
Okay, so color.
Black. White. Brown.
Is
Gray.
only so good. The
Brownish
Crayola box, when I grew up, had 8 crayons. Now, I don't know, it's hundreds. But these color identifiers are hard. And when you live in a house with all men like I do, you're not sure whether this is
Brownish
more
gray.
accurate or them.
Gray.
Because they're not so great at colors
Brownish
either.
Brownish green and gray.
But there
Contacts.
are all of these
Double tap
things
to open.
every day that I interact with to make my life easier. Some of them are high tech, some of them are low tech. Some of them just take too much time for me to pull up and interact with. And so I will go to the human nearby. And that's, another one of the factors for you to consider as you're developing is how quick and easy. That Be My Eyes one is so easy. I don't know if I'm going to get a person. I'm not sure they're going to understand what I'm saying or actually be able to see the label on the medicine bottle because those are small little words and they, they're not always accurate, and especially when it's on a round surface. But cost is a big one. These built-ins are tremendous because, again, people who are blind and low vision are very unemployed, live largely with subsidy, SSI and SSDI, and so their means are very limited to purchase. I'm very blessed to have been able to purchase my own iPhone and my own laptop and the software that goes with it. And I've lost where I am.
Download access code /dim/met misspelled. Applicable disability left blank. Page 3. Page 2. Positive human impact : misspelled. Usages misspelled.
Oh, Goose Chase. Now there's one of these apps. It's really fun for college kids. It's a virtual scavenger hunt. When my son turned 18 last year, I wanted to do one for him. It was during the pandemic, so I figured, be a good party thing. They can be out and about. Go, to Wegmans and get the woman behind the bakery counter's phone number kind of thing. But that website was very inaccessible when I first went to use it. It's an app and a website. There was a phone number on the front page of that website. I called, I got a human being. We had session after session after session with their IT department, and they improved their product. They improved the usability of my experience. And because it was a short turnaround time, they just stepped in and helped me get the things done that they weren't going to get the backdoor coding solutions done in place in time. Again, there's so many great things I've been able to do with
FSD.
my technology.
Audio line, blind spot.
This is an important one. There are websites and programs that you can run your designs through and your programs and your websites through to get a grade on how accessible it is. Warning, that bank website I showed you got a 95. I betcha that they have a lot of really good stuff once you can log in. But guess what? It doesn't matter because I can't log in. So those are, again, I don't understand how they work, but you can get a very good number. It's the 1% that matters. You just need to run it through a person who has that experience or has that knowledge and uses it not with their eyes. As I was losing my vision, I cheated a lot. I used every last bit of vision I had until I didn't have it anymore. And that did not do me any, service. When I was learning Braille and I spent 5 minutes running my fingers over these 3 characters and thought to myself, wait, E-G-G doesn't spell anything. What could that be? And I take my blindfold off and I look down with my nose on the page to see the letters. Yes, it says E-G-G. And then I think, oh, it's egg. It didn't help me. It didn't help my brain train. It didn't help my fingers train to cheat. And so it's really important to really do a full immersion in the experience. I know that I'm probably out of time.
Yeah, it is actually time, and there's another class coming in after
So-
us.
I just want to say thank you very much. I would welcome any questions anytime, and I need my simulators back, but I'll also get my card out if anybody is interested in following up with me. So, thanks. Woo! Thank you guys so much. I could talk forever. I'm Italian.